We have the headline. Bitcoin has just reached a new all-time high. As expected, as we discussed in previous videos, that's how Bitcoin did it. The whole idea was based on the fact that we didn't believe for a moment that after Bitcoin came to visit that all-time high and zoomed in on an hourly time frame in this region of the chart, we didn't believe for a moment that Bitcoin had come from so far away after working so hard on that upward path just to kiss the all-time high and then completely forget about it. No one really believed this, but that's why we speculated about the idea that sooner or later Bitcoin would decisively surpass the all-time high. We've been following the price under this guideline, as after the strong bullish impulse, smart money is continuing the price in this bullish channel. Here's what we're seeing. Hey, there's been an attempt to break it, but they have completely failed in their attempt. And that's why we see such an aggressive reaction saying not here. And I'll tell you again that I have an immense temptation to go down to a smaller time frame, but I'm going to stay here, and here we are seeing an impulse that smart money is giving it follow through in the form of a bullish channel. As I said, we can expect the price to drop either to the guideline or who knows if they want to drop it to the defense zone as a trap to eventually look for that climatic action that will make the headline to go around the world and everyone find out that Bitcoin has made a new all-time high. Well, not only Bitcoin has reached that all-time high, although I'm not really talking about all-time highs, but Ethereum has already surpassed $4,000, a level that has also been in the spotlight in the press as we are seeing not only talk about Bitcoin surpassing $71,000, but also about Ethereum surpassing $4,000. So I imagine you'll also remember before Ethereum hit the upper channel trend line in the daily chart. Before it did so, when the price was around here approximately, our speculation, our bet, was that the trend line of the upper channel, in other words, the central line of the bullish channel, would be surpassed to the upside. And just to put it in context, let's look at a few altcoins, including Cardano, and see how its price has come to pierce a very relevant level. It's creek at around $6,670. And if we now analyze this region of the chart in its 1 hour time frame, let's observe its behavior. Look, here we have the creek. We have come to break it, and what has the price done? Validate the creek. Yes, with a trap, clear and evident, and gigantic like a temple. But in other words, we are respecting, at least for the moment, a very, very important structural level, which is Cardano's macro creek. Remember that if you want to see an interesting upward price projection, for example on the Cardano chart, it is vital to pierce structural creeks in a solvent way, then confirm and validate them. And time will tell if they're going to offer us interesting events for any crypto investor. And now, let's look at the Solana chart in its daily time frame. We are currently observing a very relevant guideline that is specifically located at the price level of $122, a level that we have given great importance to at Crypto Insight, as we have seen how the price has sought this guideline and then reacted immediately. Being a key level in the past back in February 2022, what this is telling us is that in the potential event of a strong bullish breakout as we are seeing, we should consider that we are not just breaking any level, but a very important level that may define an interesting trend in the medium to long term. Now let's answer the question. What can we expect for the short and medium term in crypto? Will we continue to be bullish in Bitcoin or will we go down instead? Now I'll share our opinion. But first, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Continuing with Solana, let's analyze the following, considering that we are facing a very relevant level and that we have just broken it. Let's go back to the 1 hour time frame. We are also going to give great importance to the fact, to the event of having broken the creek, of having come to validate it, of having generated a trap scenario, and now to continue on this bullish path. On the other hand, as you may be observing, we have identified a structure that is working very well, which is this bullish channel. As you will see next, the entire crypto ecosystem is currently in a bullish channel. What's the next reading? Recently, we've been at the top of the bullish channel, hence there has been compression, distribution that will lead the price to seek its institutional target so that all these people, especially the large institutions that were short, could get their profit. And once they have distributed and reached their #1 target, it's on to the next thing. Taking this into account, here we have, clearly, capital that has wanted to push the price down. Well, here we find their creek. They have distributed, broken confirmed, and and hit the target. Perfect. What else does it tell us? Let's focus this a bit. Look at what it tells us. It tells us that under this distributive idea, they have worked on a defense zone that today we can continue to work and extend. Although it might surprise you, how can we use it? Well, as you know, a defense zone gains strength and offers us very good trading opportunities as a result, not only because of its nature, but also because of the level at which its own structure is located, but also it can also warn us when, in this case, these institutions that have been clearly selling to Solana will be able to tell us the defense zone when these people are no longer interested in defending their bearish position. And how can we know this? Something as simple as seeing the defense zone being pierced. That's what it's going to do. What it could do is to catapult Solana's price with strong aggressiveness. Frankly, if we lose Solana's defense zone, after the same time perceiving this as a trap and that they have generated the impulse, why not expect a small correction? Who knows or not to look for a macro bullish replica? We will see if this will be a final climatic action or simply part of the course of the channel that in the future can offer us such a bullish climatic action. In the end, what I'm explaining to you is that if we see Solana breaking up, the defense zone will be sending a signal to the world regarding its directional priority. Now look at the Cardano chart in its hourly time frame. We already know that here we have a relevant level, that we have come to break it, we have come to validate it, to generate a trap, and there we are, who knows if working on a flat pattern prior to a breakout or not. What else are we seeing in this chart? Look, we have identified this bullish channel. In the end, the alpha angle of work defines it for us like this. As you know, when the price throws itself from home to try to break a structure, this rarely ends well. Hence, we end up seeing frequently in financial markets in general, these aggressive V-shaped reversals. After perceiving that we have a trap here, what do we see the price doing? We have seen how it has come to validate the structure, thus confirming the previous trap. This trap. And why do we care to confirm a previous trap? Well, what it could be telling us is that it may have a predilection to continue looking up. And how can we match this? Well, look, on one hand, we have a strong bullish impulse. Here we could be experiencing a corrective pattern. A corrective pattern, by the way, that has worked a defense zone, which we are going to give immense value to the fact of seeing how it has been pierced, how a micro trap has been generated to recover and continue with its process. In the end, considering that we have a bullish impulse here, that we have a correction that has cleaned up, hey, why wouldn't we look for the replica of the bullish impulse at some point to the upside? It's something that frankly makes sense. And even more so if we also pay attention to this strong bearish impulse and assess its corrective pattern. Look, here we have the W. This is a Y, yes, we could label it here with a Z, but we can also do something like this without any fear and expect a Z a bit higher up. Because remember, when a corrective pattern takes a long time, we are talking about a complex corrective pattern. And a complex corrective pattern is indispensably composed of a Z to Z, can come in the form of horizontal time consumption, basically, that this is the end of the Z and goodbye, and there is also the variant of an aggressive and sharp Z in this case to the upside. If this scenario occurs in Cardano, then we would be seeing something similar to this with a lot of aggressiveness. And we could think that there would then be some kind of recovery bias, and what Cardano could tell us, perhaps, is that in this hypothetical bullish impulse, maybe we wouldn't have, for the moment, the macro bullish climatic action, but rather this would simply be part of the bullish channel. I don't know if I'm explaining myself and you understand me. Let me know in the comments, and if you're enjoying this advanced technical analysis, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future posts. Continuing with Ethereum, remember that this line is nothing more than a median to which, at the time, we did not give any importance, beyond saying that we bet that this was going to break to the upside anyway. Now, what are we going to pay attention to specifically? In the end, if you realize, here we have a relevant structure that at the time came to try to break through, generated a trap scenario. And here we have the consequence of its failure. A V-shaped reversal, a strong bullish impulse. Regarding the bullish impulse, it seems that smart money, and the seems is a way of speaking, is following it in the form of a channel. A bullish channel that gives the impression that Ethereum is now close to touching its ceiling. But beware, you'll see how I'm going to tell you that this structure, despite being interesting to look for a key zone, to engage in very aggressive trading saying disregarding that is not necessary. Essentially, if you recall the charts we've drawn on Cardano and Solana, we see that if a key defensive zone is breached, Ethereum wouldn't hesitate to break its structure to the upside. I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself clearly, but let's pay attention to the following. After the strong impulse that's being accompanied by an uptrend channel, a clear and evident defensive zone has also been established. Here it is. They establish it and confirm it. Hence, the structural trap has gone to seek the defensive zone before rising. And this is what we told you was very likely to happen in previous videos. Hey, why can't we expect a downward leg in altcoins as a trap to really seek the good upward movement? Well, perhaps what Ethereum is telling us here is that we're at a market extreme at the top of a channel being compressed in a frankly unhealthy manner. And hey, if this collapses, it's very likely we'll have bearish visits. And here we'll see how far, because frankly, we can go down to the base of the bullish channel to test that impulsive movement that may still exist in Ethereum. Although, of course, we also have to consider that if they feel like it, they could create a trap scenario over a very important defensive zone before continuing the movement, in which case we would treat this entire event as a reaccumulation process. Okay, after understanding, on one hand, that distribution has occurred here. It has gone to seek an institutional target, and that after the smart money has already worked through this distributive process and obtained its profit, it's on to other things. So, for the moment, it seems that those who have distributed on a micro time frame already have theirs, but we have to consider this whole range as a potential reaccumulation zone. Consider that we have been accumulating, even reaccumulating from lower levels, and this point in its entirety could be labeled as reaccumulation, in which case, of course, we would see Ethereum breaking through these types of structures. That's why I'm warning you right now that I wouldn't be marrying the top of this bullish channel, since we're expecting both Cardano and Solana. We see that in the case of losing key areas, they could experience upward moves. Similarly, of course, would be the case for cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, and as we'll see next. So, as I said, could it be interesting for scalping? Of course, why not? But if scalping isn't your thing, or you don't master it, leave it alone and let's analyze the next thing. Let's remove this from the chart. Here's what we need to be watching, and what needs to be our obsession. We've plotted a volume profile. We want to identify where the value area high and the value area low are. This is defined by the highest point of the light color of the volume profile and the lowest point of the light color of the volume profile. Notice that the price has found strong value in this entire area, and when the price tried to play tricks, those kinds of things have consequences and the need to return to value immediately. Now, what I'm paying attention to here is that we've broken the value area with great force, and we're following it up with an uptrend channel. It's as if we really want to break away from this movie and go see another one. But you'll be realizing by now, and going back to the previous charting, that we're in critical situations, both in Ethereum and in Cardano and Solana, where frankly, we depend on seeing a defensive zone fail in Cardano and Solana to look strongly upwards. This way, Ethereum would continue to rise. I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself. Of course, it's sensible to expect some kind of prior reaction, but hey, if the altcoin's defensive zone is lost, let's look upwards and let the structure of this channel be irrelevant. And if you know what scalping is about, then I'm sure you'll be able to play around here. And now, going back to talking about the protagonist, that cryptocurrency that's fodder for headlines. The fact that we have a new all-time high in Bitcoin now that we've surpassed $71,000. So, that headline has come about, really, because of this strong impulse, since there wasn't a press that uniformly and seriously would make such a publication upon seeing how previously we had slightly timidly surpassed the all-time high. What does the press need? Something clear and evident. And here, the market has given it to them just as we from Crypto Insight expected. That said, of course, we find ourselves in a critical situation, hence why Solana and Cardano are now in a defensive zone, and as soon as they decide to break it, we won't care about the structures we're monitoring in both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that would imply, why not, that the price could continue to rise. Just as Ethereum, Bitcoin has recently made a bullish impulse and is continuing its price in the form of a channel, and it depends on the defensive zone of Solana and Cardano and what they want to do here in Bitcoin, since if those defensive zones aren't breached, considering we're in such key areas, hey, why not? They might work on the classic traps, retreat, and then later attempt the strong bullish impulse, a climactic action. Summing up what we've seen, Cardano is an open book. It's telling us that it's on a frontier that, if breached at any point, will invite longs across the entire crypto market. Similarly to Cardano, which is in a key area, we see Solana in its defensive zone, a defensive zone that, if breached, would only send a signal to be very bullish in the market. This also brings its adverse worst danger, of course, and that is if the defensive zone does its job of defending, then specifically we'll be in the optimal place to temporarily turn the market around. Similarly, we could say this about Cardano. We're in a structure, who knows if they're setting a trap or not, but we could be in a critical situation to temporarily turn the market around, and later on, who knows? Look for that replication. That must be taken into account. Regarding Ethereum, as mentioned concerning the volume profile, it's interesting that they don't want to return within the value area to want to continue. However, at the same time, we find ourselves right now in a hot zone in an area of interest that, yes, who knows if it sets a trap for us, which could backtrack, either to seek explosiveness due to the loss of interesting areas of the crypto market, or to continue consuming some time and eventually make such a climactic action. And this is exactly painted the same way in Bitcoin. We'll see if this critical situation, the trap within the trap, occurs to correct, continue in the range, and later on look for such a climactic action. Or alternatively, the altcoins lose the defensive zone, and sooner rather than later, we go with a strong upward impulse throughout the crypto ecosystem. Now, share your opinion with me in the comments. And if you liked this advanced technical analysis, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon so YouTube notifies you of future posts. And don't forget to share this video with other trading and cryptocurrency communities friends so that the crypto channel continues to grow steadily. Good luck in your trades, and until next time.